Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to interview Don Mueller, an educational consultant with Tutor Doctor. Today, we're talking about how you can earn a perfect score on the ACT. Don, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jackson.
So to get started, can you explain how the ACT is scored? I know this might be a silly question, but in order to get a perfect score, do students need to get every question on the test right?
That's one of the nice things about the ACT, and other tests too. There is no deduction for incorrect answers. So you are only scored on the correct answers that you have. And the way it works is there's no real easy way. I will say that a 36, the perfect score, is a very lofty goal. If you were to score a 35, consider yourself getting a perfect score. So that's the good news of that. So 35, 36, you can consider your score perfect. The way it works though is each section is averaged out, and that's how they get your composite score. So if you take the test multiple times, you could theoretically get certain areas up, and those areas will be averaged to bring your total score up higher if you do better.
Okay, great. So I know achieving a perfect score is something that we only really consider to be possible for unfathomably brilliant people. But is it something that students can work towards? How big of a role does motivation play?
It is something that you can work towards. I think it's good to go into the test having a goal in mind. There's a lot to positive reinforcement and visualization and saying, okay, I'm setting this as my goal. And if you get close to that, you've really pretty much met that. Motivation is a key element in that. And again, if you have the goal, if you say, well, good enough is, that's probably what you're going to get. It's better to go in with that higher goal, but then do the work to get to that. Taking practice tests. I've heard of people taking 20 practice tests. That's not too many. It's a rare achievement. And I will tell you that 36 number, 1,400 out of 1.8 million test takers got a perfect score last year. That's 0.07%. So there's a little bit of an element of luck in there, meeting preparation. It's more realistic to prepare for the test as best as possible. And if you get a 35, as I said, you've done incredibly well. Really not about brilliance. It's about determination and preparation. So if you're motivated to prepare well, you can do really well on it.
Great. So to effectively prepare for the ACT, students need good study materials and practice problems to work from. So where can students find the best practice material? Are there free resources available online?
Yeah, there are so many great resources out there now, Jackson. There are some good free resources too, or I will even say relatively low cost resources. Magoosh is one of my favorite ones. They have online test taking platforms, but they also provide free tests. You don't even have to sign up with them for anything. They will provide you a number of free practice tests. Princeton Review, very low cost, if any, with that. So how you prepare can depend on your budget, but your budget doesn't have to decide how well you're going to do on the test and how well you prepare. So I think if you invest as a student, if you invest in a good study guide, if you are motivated and dedicated, you can do really well with that. The ideal situation is to have a private tutor that who reviews the areas that you need some more bolstering in on the test as identified by all those practice tests, and then they can reinforce it, and then you can go back and see how you're improving.
Great. So when it comes to studying, a lot of people say that quality is more important than quantity. So do you have any advice to help students effectively study for the ACT? Is it simply a matter of repetition, or are there strategies that students can use?
Some places believe that repetition is the key to doing well on the test, because then you get comfortable with the environment, you get comfortable with the pressure of the situation. That doesn't work for everyone. I will tell you that. I don't believe one size fits all with test prep. I think some students may do better with tutoring for specific areas of the test, and that will get them through. Others may benefit from an online test taking platform or a study guide, and then others will still benefit from a combination of the approaches, such as tutoring to bolster the certain areas. I think the most important strategy for studying is pacing it out over several weeks, maybe even a few months, but don't do too much in a given week. Make it part of your daily routine, make it part of your weekly routine. It's really the thing I will warn everybody against is trying to jam everything in at the last minute before the test. And one of the big things that's really important is the night or two before the test, make sure you're getting a good night's sleep. That really makes a difference.
Great. So now getting to taking the actual test, do you have any tips or strategies that students can consider or use while they're taking the ACT?
Yeah, I have a couple of those, and I personally benefited from them when I was applying to graduate school programs. One of my favorite strategies is to read the answers first and then read the question. This gives you an increased probability of determining the correct answer more quickly because you've eliminated the obviously incorrect ones. And another tip is to answer the easiest problems first, go through the test, answer the easiest ones first, and then go back to the more difficult ones so you have time and feel calmer about what you have answered. And then the other thing, use the booklet that has all the questions in it. Write your answers in there and make sure you indicate the correct answer there. You can check it with your Scantron sheet, and then you've made sure you've transferred them correctly.
Okay, great. So how many times would you recommend that students take the ACT?
In real life, I would say 2 to 3 times max. And the reason with that is there's something called regression to the mean, which means that you're likely to regress to the average of all the tests that are taken the more times you take it. So unless you're changing something in your study habits, unless you're getting that support to help you on your weaker areas, you're just going to get the same score over and over after a period of time. On the practice tests, the free practice tests, I would say up to 20 times you could take it.
And so what is the last time that a senior can take the ACT and still have it count towards their application?
For a senior, if they take the last test in December, they're still okay for regular decision with colleges, which is usually in January. And then if they want to go for early decision, October is the last date that they could take the ACT.
Great. Well, thanks again, Dawn, for joining us today.
Thank you, Jackson. Happy to be here.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And for more interviews like this, please subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.